Tribe, YouTube fam, what's up? I am in Da Nang. So we got in yesterday. So just enjoying a cup of coffee here. I wasn't gonna make a video yesterday, but we're kind of busy, hectic. That was the first day we just got in. Between getting through the airport, getting through immigration. Immigration took about an hour just to walk through and stand in. And then when we got to the hotel, we still had to wait about 2 hours before check-in. We were a little bit early. We got here about 11:30ish, and we couldn't check in until about 2 p.m. So from there, we kind of just walked around the area, found a little place to have a bite to eat, and had a couple beers. Then we stayed there. We ended up. This is kind of the master of Chad. We were talking to the waitress there. They didn't speak no English, and we were joking with her. So we didn't know where to change money, because when we got to the hotel, I changed a little bit of money at the airport, but the airport gives you lower. So I didn't really have, between paying for the taxi and stuff like that, we were like super hungry, so I didn't know if I had enough money to pay for the meal. I mean, I had money, but not in Vietnamese dong. So, but we talked her into, not talk her into, is if she could take me to, the banks were closed at the time, because one of the things I learned in Vietnam is all the banks close for lunch. So all the banks close from noon to 1:30 for an hour and a half. So for lunch, so they don't stay open. Now you will get that in other countries. This will go down a rabbit hole. Other countries, you will get that, where you're fine that some countries will break for lunch for 3 hours, 4 hours. even if they work long days. You hear, this is where things are miscommunicated in the States, where you hear some countries, oh, they work 12-hour days, 6 days a week, stuff like that. Poor them. You know what I mean? But yes, that's true. But what they don't tell you is they get a 3-hour lunch. Like it breaks up their day. Then they'll come back and finish the work day. But I don't know I don't know that so much in Vietnam. But it was kind of surprising. It's like they don't stay open; they all close. It's like, yeah, from noon to 1:30, they all close. Then the second way you get money here, or exchange money, is in gold shops. That was kind of new for me, but because in Thailand they don't exchange money in gold shops. And so it's always at the they have little money exchangers and banks, of course. So she knew a gold shop. Long story short, she knew a gold shop, but it was about 1 kilometer away, which is almost a couple miles. It's pretty toasty here. Da Nang this is their prime summer right now, so August is their hottest month. So to see Thailand now, Thailand is in their rainy season, so Thailand is starting to cool down. I mean, cool down for Thailand. But anyway, we asked her, we kind of made friends with her and stuff like that. We asked her, hey, can you take me to the gold shop? Because I need to exchange money. And she said yes. So they had actually another staff like jump on his motorbike. So he took me to the gold shop. Then I exchanged money. Then brought me back to the restaurant. The Ang waited at the restaurant. So then I tipped him. He was surprised I tipped him. Like he was like his face was like so shocked. So he thought he was just taking me there for free. And so so I tipped him. Then but I kind of wanted to share that because that's kind of like one of the things I do when I go to different countries is that's why I know, like honestly, that's why I know so much when I go to new countries and stuff like that, because I usually make friends with the locals. And you make friends with the locals, you understand it a little bit more. They'll share stuff with you. They'll help you out with, like, if you want to look for a place, uh, maybe you want to look for a condo. Right now I'm in a resort, but if I was on like stay here or live here, or I was on stay here for a few months, they'll help you out look for a condo. They'll tell you what like Vietnamese price is, what local price is. Like for example, when we were at the airport, I was looking for a money exchange at the airport so I could pay the taxi. So when I went in to change my money at the airport, I was joking around with them, and like being joking, like kind of joking around, being friendly with them. So they kind of liked me. So when they gave me my money, I told them I was staying at the Sel de Mar, like how far away is it? And he told me it wasn't too far. And I said, well, how much is a taxi? Or like, where's a taxi? Where can I get one? It was a little bit chaotic because you've never been here before. And plus, what you have to be careful of, especially in Asia. I mean, Cambodia does this, Thailand does this. I mean, they're kind of I want to say scammers, but they kind of let them like just stand where like all the taxis are. So you can easily get kind of scammed or schemed. This even goes on even when you go to Cambodia. Like if you cross the border, like you do a border run, and you actually walk across the border. Like the immigration officers will let flipping scammers and schemers stand right there, and you won't know. You think they work for immigration or something like that. So so anyway, when I was exchanging my money at the airport, and I was asking him like where's the taxi and stuff like that, and he was telling me. So he's like, "I'll go down to stage 4." They had it all marked, and he's like, make sure that they have a grab vest on. He's like, only go to a person with a grab vest, which I knew what he was talking about. And I was like, okay, okay. And I said, well, do you know where Saldemar is? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, how much is it to go to Saldemar? And then he told me, he said, pay no more than $200,000. It's no more than $200,000. So I said, okay. I was like, cool, thanks. So but when we went over and I got the taxi, at first he wanted $350,000. So he almost wanted double like what it really cost. So I was joking. I was nice. I wasn't rude. Okay. Sometimes when I explain things, maybe I come off rude. I don't know, but usually when you're dealing with me, unless you piss me off, usually when you're dealing with me in person, I'm a little bit more friendly and nice and jokey. And but I was telling him, he said $350,000, and I was like, I just came from the money exchanger. He told me it was 200,000. Then he started backpedal. Then he was like, oh well, they don't really know. And I'm like, I go, they're a local just like you. I'm like giggling and stuff like that. Then he's like, well, we got okay now. Then he goes into kind of making stuff up. But we got the airport fee, we got the parking fee. And I was like, I'm scratching my head, playing with him a little bit. I'm like, I go, what is this airport fee? And I'm laughing, and I put my arm around him because he's shorter than me. And he's like, then he drops it to 300, and I was like, oh, 200. Then he's like, well, then he repeats this like airport fee, which they'll do that. Like this fake fees, made up fees. And and uh and I was like, come on. I go, it's only like $200,000. No, and I'm laughing. Then he's like, well, meet me in the middle, 250. And I said, okay, I'll give you 250. Okay. But that you kind of get that. You're gonna get that, especially I mean, especially in these poverty countries. I mean, I hate to say that, but that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a little bit more, whatever you want to call them, scams, schemes, um, little money angles. You pay more for stuff, but it the story I kind of got off on a rant on. My coffee's getting cold. It is actually good coffee in our room. I'll show it in a room in a little bit in a different video. I mean, it's an awesome room. Uh, but the reason I tell you that story is because this is why I know so much. This is why I know so much about Thailand. Okay. This is why I know so much about investing in Thailand. This is why I know so much about renting condos and buying condos in Thailand. Okay. This is how I know so much about how much houses are worth in Thailand. Okay. I'm not joking when I talk about this stuff I'm like in Thailand, I've been there for 4 years. I'm friends with Thai locals. Okay. And not just Ang and granted, and I'm friends with, I mean, I'm dating Ang for 3.5 years. And plus her family and her brother-in-law knows a lot. Um, but even when I stayed at La Casita, I was friends. I was friends with all the staff. Okay. You know what I mean? I have more Thai local friends than I do full-on friends. Okay, you have to understand that. And I don't mean people give you, especially if they do Thailand videos, I don't mean they viciously give you bad information. But what you have to understand, I'm here. Okay. Most people, most full-on, they only stay in these full-on communities. That's it. They only hang out with other full-on. That's it. So their knowledge base of giving advice is very, very low. I mean, yeah, I hear all types of stuff. I even hear stuff coming from these huge channels that are just totally wrong. Um, but they're not doing it viciously. It's because they live in a tourist hub. All they hang out with tourists. That's you know what I mean. They don't venture out and have locals as friends. Okay, that's what I tend to do. That's what I tend to be good at. And I mean, just like my story yesterday. Um, and yeah, I tipped him. You know what I mean? He did me a favor. I did him a favor. Something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, that's what I want to share with you. I mean, kind of, 'cause in these places, all Asia is like this, no matter where you go. Um, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, China, Japan, Korea, all these places are the same in a general sense. Is if you're full on, they'll overcharge you. Bottom line. And it's not just a 10% overcharge. Like in real estate, for example, now I'm getting down a rabbit hole. In real estate, for example, even in real estate, you have to understand there's no zoning. I'm talking about Thailand, Vietnam, there's no zoning laws. There's no price gouging. There's no, you're not going to get in trouble because they sold you a house and you paid 4 times what it's worth. And trust me, that happens. Um, or or you go to buy a house and they tell you, oh, and I'll play stupid. I'm a, that's my second superpower, playing stupid. uh, it's a superpower of mine to play stupid, pretend I don't know. And I would be looking at a house, and I would go in and be like, how do I pay for this? Like, do I go through a bank? Do I do a wire transfer? And there'd be 100% of the time there'd be like, uh, oh no, you pay cash. You can do like a wire transfer, cash, no bank. But the I'm tricking them because you have to understand the reason why they don't want to go through a bank is because even in Thailand, even in Asia, a bank will appraise the property The bank will let you know what it's really worth. Trust me. Okay, but they don't want you to go through a bank because they want you just to pay them what they say. And the, I mean, especially for a long, these prices are exaggerated, extremely exaggerated. Even in Vietnam, I see it. Da Nang is getting more popular. Uh, these YouTubers are coming over to Da Nang, filming videos, people staying in condos. Every single video, even from Paul Lee, all these big ones that's coming over here, that's filming. Everybody's overpaying for their condos here. I mean, you're paying $800 for a condo. Are you shitting me? I mean, that's way like extremely over local price. Even in Thailand, okay, you can get like a really good condo for $300. A really good condo. Okay. Now there's some do's and don'ts with this. I mean, sometimes you have to go in rainy season, because when rainy season it's low, you have way better negotiating power. Every condo you can negotiate off anywhere from 10 to 30% off the asking price. But the asking price, that's exactly what it is. They're just trying to make as much money. For example, like before we came to Da Nang, I on Instagram, they were showing me this luxury, really kind of like a luxury townhouse type of thing in Bangkok. And I sent her a message and I said, how much? And when she replied to me, okay, it was classic when she applied to me what happens in Thailand. So classic. She sent me like 3 or 4 messages in one. The first one was 140,000 baht per month, which is about $4,000 per month. Her second message was, what is your budget? Her third message was, I want to rent to you. You get me. I laugh at it, but it's so true. It's because it tells you right there. I know it's exaggerated, but from the beginning. But when she said 140,000, extremely exaggerated. But her next line was, what's your budget? If I would have told her my budget, I mean, I could have easily got it. I could have very easily talked her down to like 100,000 by a month, like 40,000 off. Okay, easily, very easily. Even probably lower than that if I really wanted the place. But that's what I'm saying. Things are flipping exaggerated, my friends. But a lot of people are coming here, Thailand, Da Nang, wherever, and they just pay asking price. Come on, baby. You can't pay asking price here, but there's no laws protecting you. I mean, it's literally like, if you're willing to pay it, you know what I mean? Then sometimes people, they're buying property because they get a visa. You know what I mean? If you own property like in Thailand or Vietnam, whatever, it's easier to get like a long stay visa. Okay. But the dilemma is your property has to be worth so much. Okay. Now, this even says it in fine print at immigration in Thailand. Even Thailand in fine print, it's on their website. Okay, I'm not joking. I'm not lying to you. The fine print on their website it even says right in there, if I could spit it out of my mouth, right on their flipping website is they even say, we don't care how much you paid for the property. We're going to appraise your property and see how much it's worth. They even say that on their website. Because they know people overpay for these properties. So if you buy a property and you have a type of visa because you own a property or you have a wealthy visa, whatever, I mean, and you're showing property as to qualify for your wealthy visa or your non-O visa, okay? Immigration appraises your property. So let's say you pay 10 million bought for your property, they come in and appraise it. They say it's only worth 5 million, but you need that 10 million to qualify for your visa. You understand what I'm saying? You need to have 10 million to qualify for your visa, but they come back and they say, oh, your property is only worth 5 million. That means you don't qualify, or you need another asset to come in. Okay, that's what it means. Like you can't overpay for this stuff, guys. You want to overpay in your country, so why the hell are you coming over here and overpaying? It doesn't make no sense to me. And that's how, literally, that's how people lose their life savings when they come over here. They get caught up in their schemes and scams and stuff like that. You got to be smart, baby. I don't really know why I got down that rabbit hole. I was, just sitting here enjoying the view, and that's what was on the top of my mind, and I kind of shared it. But here, let me see. Let me see if I can stand up. Now I got the city view here, so I got the whole view of the city. I'm on the 17th floor. It's not actually too loud during the day. When you come out here, you have the ambiance of a city background, like a background noise, a city noise. But once you go in, they do have really high-end glass that keeps out the background sound. So here's the city right there. Yeah, there it is. There it is. But it is a giant balcony. So I'm on the one corner, so I'll walk on the other side here. So it is a decent balcony. So yeah. So that's all. You can see the mountains over here. There's a beach over here. Plus we're across the street from the beach. So the beach is on the other side. So it's just right across the road. And so yeah, I'll do that later. And that's kind of how long the balcony is. But I was really kind of, honestly, I'm really impressed with the condo. Not a condo, but the Sotomar. Really impressed with it. It does seem, we did go out last night, but just to eat, we were starving. Then plus we were crazy tired, and we came back and crashed. But tonight I'll be able to tell you more. It does seem to be in the Sotomar. It does seem to be more on the quiet side of Da Nang. It doesn't seem to be exactly right in a hot spot. So I want to kind of figure out where the hot spot is here. Just to maybe if I do a video just on Da Nang or Saldamar, I'll know. That way, if people kind of want to be in that prime zone, you can walk to a lot of stuff, but it's local. Okay, you're not really around a lot of salon shops. Like once you kind of leave the big road and you kind of go inside, you immediately go into a local. That's how close the all the locals are to you. That's kind of like it is in Thailand too. It is once you leave the big road, or even if the big road is all lined with resorts and condos, just right on the other side, locals. So it's kind of like the same way here. But it seems to be much, much cleaner than Thailand. I hate to say it. I love you, Thailand. But now, again, my advice might be jaded because again, I've been here one day and I've been in Thailand for 4 years. But as far as just what I've seen, driving from the airport to here, us walking around, they do seem to keep the roads super, super clean. The sidewalks are pretty clean unless they're doing construction. Versus Thailand. Thailand tends to, the roads are dirty. The sidewalks are all cracked up. They look like they're 30 years old, like they've never replaced them. Or when things break, they just don't replace it. I think that's what's kind of people getting tired of Thailand. I mean, even for me, it can kind of, Thailand brings in like tons and like millions and millions and millions of baht a year, in tourists, just in tourists. Profit from tourists, and they don't fix nothing. It doesn't make any sense. I think that's why Da Nang's getting more popular. People are coming over. So it does seem to be a lot cleaner. But they still kind of have the stereotypical like older buildings because lots of times in Asia they're built cheap. They're used the cheapest materials to build. I know people don't like to hear that, but it's true. Um, so all that means is you have sun damage and rain damage, and it makes the buildings look old. It makes the buildings look old really really fast. So you do have that here a little bit. Uh, so, but overall, I mean overall, I'm pretty impressed. Pretty impressed with the resort. I mean, like just compared, I stayed in a lot of resorts in Thailand, and this is probably the best one I've stayed in. I mean, I actually lived in Adamatra in Patong, in Phuket, Thailand. I lived there for like 8 months. So even when I turned on the TV, everything was in English. It's actually cable. It's actually cable TV. Okay, which it's weird to shock me, but I was kind of shocked. I was like, holy crap, they got cable on here. And everything was in English. They had like HBO, all that stuff. I just clicked on to watch the movie for like 20 minutes last night before I fell asleep. And because you go to these resorts in Thailand, you pay the same thing I pay here, and they have a little mini TV like this clear across the room. You can't hardly see it. I gotta put my glasses on. And it's literally just Thai local TV. It's not cable, it's not anything. It's just all the free channels you get with I mean, it's just like a local. They have a TV, they get Thai local TV, that's it for free. That's what they have. That's what they had at Adamatra. They had like no cable TV, just everything was Thai. They had one channel that was English. That was it. And now, even Adamatra right now is more expensive than what this one. I mean, because the prices go back to get extreme. But I'll do another video on that. Just this is on the top of my mind. But but uh, but yeah, holy hell! It's like almost 30 minutes right now. Me just like yakking and rambling, sitting here. But other than that, YouTube fam, maybe I'll go. Won't keep the video too long. If not, an hour later, I'll be like, I'm still sitting out here. I might make myself a new cup of coffee. I might wake up ang. I'm starting to get hungry. Go to breakfast. So we have a breakfast buffet that kind of comes in. Oh, there she is, right there. Yeah, see, I was just talking about her. Then she comes out here and she said, "I'm hungry. I want breakfast." Uh, yeah, yeah. That's what she looks like. Yeah, but anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Remember, YouTube fam, tribe. Remember, I love you. Remember, check out the description. That's where all the nuggets are. And then I always update the description over time. I'm always fine tuning, uh, to make things better and better and better and better and better. That's what I do. But anyway, check out the description. Remember, I love you guys. Comment below if you have questions, and I'll see you in the next video.